Okay, this is the article about life after high school written by Deborah Bergauer. Now again, you're going to have one of these articles with every short story, and you will need to perfect your reading skills in how you look at these. And the previous video showed you how they're constructed. And this one is fairly simple just to get you started. The purpose of this one is to show how this story could be used in teaching high school. In fact, the person who wrote this, Deborah Bergauer, has used it in teaching high school. So let's take a look at the article, and I'm assuming that you have read the article by now. All right, let's begin an analysis. The critical theory that she is using is, first of all, pedagogical. That means that she is looking at how the short story could be taught. So pedagogical, if you don't know that word, you need to know it and should know it before you graduate from college. It means the study of teaching. So when we look at things pedagogically, we look at how they can be taught. So she is looking at how that short story can be taught. The other way that she looks at the story is with a formalist view, meaning that she looks at the various parts of it, the characterization, for example, and the plot, just like we did in the previous video. The focus topic of her article is using this story with students. That's what she's writing about, how to use this short story with students. The purpose for her article is to identify topics and ways to approach this story for teaching. So you can see how I have narrowed the topic. What is the topic? The topic is the short story. What is the focus topic? Using this short story with students. And what does she want to accomplish? She wants to find topics, subtopics, and ways to approach this story for teaching. The thesis that she has. Now, in the short story, you're going to have a theme statement, but with an article, you'll have a thesis. This is where she takes the focus topic and she makes a claim. So her claim is that Life After High School, the short story, would be a good story for assigning to a high school class. And you may disagree with that. I don't know. To me, it could be. I think I would agree with her for the most part. I would also be worried about people wanting to censor it since it has suicide in it. The sources. Now remember that the way that an article is set up, first they present the topic, the focus topic, and then they do a review of the literature. The purpose of citing sources in literary article is to review the literature. So they go over what anyone has written about this short story in the past. If there's a lot, then they focus it on people who have said something similar or maybe even oppositional to what they want to claim. So the number of sources, she said, she only found one article that and one review of the story. And so she's going to depend mostly on her own use of the short story in class. And that's all of that's in the introduction. So we have the topic, focus topic, the thesis statement, and a review of the literature and what she found in the literature. The author's reasons for her thesis, this is called the warrant. It's the basis for her thesis, her claim that this is a story that can be used in class. The social issues are those similar to what you still find in high school classes. The issues of dating, the popular students, the nerdy students, the suicide. All of those are social issues still found in today's high school classes. She also gives the narrative technique that's used in the story, that it's fairly easy to understand what's being said in the story. The writing style as well. The themes, same thing, themes of religion, what does it mean of choosing a path in life? Any of the topics that you could find for a theme topic, she said those could be topics that could be talked about in class. The gender issues, how she acts and how he acts, and what was expected of them. The autobiographical element of how this might have fit with Joyce Carol Oates' own high school experiences. Would it also fit with some of the current high school students' experiences? And philosophical questions might even be approached with this short story. For example, is it really a free world? Do we have free choice? I don't know if I would go into that, but it would be fascinating with college class. I don't know about a high school class. So these are the reasons she thinks this would be a good story for her for teaching this in a high school. What did you not understand about the article and need to ask about? You need to send those to me by email and ask me about them, and I can answer you if there's anything in the article that you don't understand. And then you can also critique a story with any other criticism style. Now, we used formalism. You could look at this story with gender criticism, sociological criticism, archetypal criticism, and psychological criticism. Psychological criticism would look at Zachary's mental state and also maybe Sunny's mental state, how she was immature and became more mature. And Zachary's, I don't know what you would say about him. Pressures of high school and fitting in and gender identity, and that would take us up to gender criticism, gender identity issues, and how he maybe didn't feel like he fit the gender expectations for a male. Sociological, looking at the structure of high school settings and how they were conducive to a positive environment or a negative environment. Archetypal would be looking at the characters and the patterns. This would be a typical coming-of-age story. These are almost stereotyped characters. So there's different ways to look at a story, and you can choose whatever literary theory you would want to critique a story. It's just that Bergauer chose formalism and she used a pedagogical approach. So keep that in mind as we talk about the stories, and we look at authors who have critiqued the stories using various critical theories.